Hey, now I'm going to explain a little of my life. My name is Hazel Grace. I'm 17 years old, and now I go to a cancer patient supergroup because my mother says me. I always use a portable oxygen tank to breathe properly. I start getting tired of always going to the support group. But one day, in one meetings, I crossing glances with a teenage boy called August. Now, at this moment, I begin to think that everything will change. My life wouldn't start to be the same old routine. Days later, I met him. He invited me to go to his house and
On the way home in August to see the film V for Vendetta, August explained that he has suspended 3 driving tests because it is missing a leg, that they amputed because he had cancer. Hazel began her history when I was 13 years old. They drew of her old school because she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer, which took to do chemotherapy and surgery. Thanks to a drug, Palantochifor, Hazel can survive. Arriving home from August realizes August called, and that you like. After seeing the film, August gives a book based on a video game and Hazel says to call him when the book is finished. The day of his Hazel anniversary goes shopping with her friend Caitlin and discuss love. While her friend buys shows, Hazel purchases 2 sequels to the novel and flip-flops to have something to wear. Hazel tells his friend, who is tired but actually he makes it to go home and read.
When Hazel arrived in her house, she started to read the novel An Imperial Affliction. This novel is about a girl who develops blood cancer. Hazel feels identified with the protagonist, but she found uneasy in the novel doesn't have a conclusion, and furthermore, the writer, named Van Houten, was disappeared after publishing the last novel. She setting the book aside and calls Augustus. He invites Hazel to go at his house because he's consoling his friend, Isaac, who is distraught. A week later, Augustus phones Hazel and he says that he has the contact of Van Houten. Later, Hazel writes the perfect email for the writer. In this email, she asks all the questions she has. A few days later, she receives a message from Van Houten. He says that if she would like, go to Amsterdam for meet and talk with him. Hazel uses the wish from the Jenny Foundation of Augustus to go to Amsterdam because she consumed her wish when she was child and besides, she don't have a lot of money.
The mother of Hazel decides to go with her and August because they need an adult familiar. Hazel thinks about why she was so nervous when August touched her cheek, and she finds August attractive, but she never considered kiss him. Then Hazel looks for August's ex-girlfriend online. She thinks Caroline don't have anything in common, but cancer made them similar. Hazel goes down to dinner, and she's so cold. Her mother asks what's wrong, and Hazel says that she's a grenade, and she can explode in anything moment and injure everyone near after. After saying that, she knows what is so tense up with August. She's scared to hurt him, and then she texts him to tell that she can kiss him because it makes her think of pain she will cause him. August replies that he flirts with her, and she says sorry. The mother of Hazel enters her room and says that she's not a grenade, and she makes them so joy. Just after 4 morning, Hazel will have a terrible pain in her head. Hazel screams frantically to wake her parents. Hazel screams frantically to wake her parents. She feels what seems like a series of explosions in her head. The feeling is so awful that she can feel that she can dead. She equates the situations to being on a seashore with waves crashing over her. The next thing we know, Hazel wakes up in the ICU. Her father explains that the pain was brought on by poor oxygenation, which resulted from her lung filling with fluid. Hazel's father also explained that Dr. Maria remains very optimistic, having run a total body PET scan and finding no new tumors, and August has been outside in the waiting room ever since he arrived, thought he was being prohibited from seeing her directly. August was with August was with Hazel on the hospital the next day, and he delivered another correspondence for Van Hooter. This talk about the Galmantia or fatal flaw of the situation. He goes on to say Shakespeare was wrong when he had Cassio note that the fault der Brutus is not in our stars, but in ourselves. Finally, he agrees with Hazel about minimizing the pain of the others. When Hazel finishes Van Hooter's house, she only can think about international travel to Amsterdam.
Augustus and Hetzel will travel to contact the writer of the novel, Van Houten. He rejects them because they were invited by his secretary without knowing it, and they are very angry. Augustus invited to dinner at Hetzel and Rilov, forgetting that it is a bomb. Van Houten realizes that they are right and will have to follow the novel and get at home. At this point, before going to visit him, Augustus tells Hetzel that her cancer is spreading and will not last much longer. She cries. They return from the trip. They are more in love every day. One day, Augustus is throwing up in his car and worse. They go to the hospital and she keeps his company in the stay of many days. In the other day, her mother tells her to go home to rest. While she is resting at home, receives a call that Augustus died. She decides to stay with his friend Isaac, read a letter, and remembers everything.